Hey everybody, it's Kaylin, the creative at the Creative Collective podcast. So before we get started today, I just want to let y'all know that we do have our initiative currently going on. Our 20 Days of Giving is currently happening as we speak. So please go in the description box below and click the link. You can also find our GoFundMe and our Double Good Popcorn fundraiser in the link tree. So with this initiative, I am looking to feed 100 homeless people across Tuscaloosa County. This is our December initiative. Our November initiative was actually scrapped, y'all. So we will not be doing the roundtable anymore. I really want to focus on giving back to my community and establishing myself in the community before I do something that requires the community to kind of come together, because I want to make sure that doing the roundtable, I really am able to get the amount of people that I want to get and have the discussions that I want to have, because those are just so important to me. I'm so passionate about the Creative Collective and the topics that I want to talk about. We need more than 5 people to show up, y'all. So that is going to be canceled until next year. But we have a ton of community outreach and just community events, period, that I am organizing for the year 2026. So make sure y'all follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and also make sure y'all keep up with us on our Substack, which is where the podcast is going to be posted every other Friday. So let's talk about narcissism and narcissistic households, because right now, okay, we live in a country where our president is a narcissist, okay? And the way that the things that he's doing, right, to usher in authoritarianism is very, very similar to the things that a narcissistic person or the narcissistic leader of a group or family construct, this is how they would go about isolating and reprogramming certain individuals in the family, right? So the first thing we need to talk about is the separation between you and I, learning to say no, and the importance of sovereignty, right? So the goal of the narcissist is to show you are so that you fall under their ownership. It's why they confuse your identity, project things onto you, and attempt to get others to see you the same way. So I know a lot of creatives out there have dealt with just a loss of self-identity. When you're a creative person and you've been a creative for a very long time, you lose yourself, especially when you are in a narcissistic household. And being that I'm Caitlin the creative, I've experienced so much stripping and reformation of my own identity, sexually, culturally, creatively, right? And I've experienced these things both in the household and outside of the household. So when you live in a narcissistic environment, whether that be on a grand scale, like a grand community scale, a national scale, or even just as simple as in your home, right? There becomes this inability to distinguish the narcissist from you. You don't know who you are because they're telling you who you are all of the time, right? People projecting things onto you by way of saying oh, you look like this, or you look like that, or you do this, right? But these don't really seem like things that you do. People might say to you, oh, you're ugly, but you feel like you're pretty, right? That's just another way of people trying to force you to be whoever they want you to be. It's they're saying things that you don't align with, right? So that they can get you to align with it. And the things that they often want you to align with are very low things. They're things that nobody should align with because they are coming from low self-esteem, right? And so the goal of this is to break down whatever confidence that you have, whatever knowing that you have, because when you know yourself, then you can be confident in that knowing. But when you don't know yourself, right, you don't have any confidence in who you are. You don't have anything to kind of sit in and be like, okay, this is me and I love me and I'm comfortable with me. So the goal of the narcissist is to first strip you of me. And instead it becomes them, they. And not even we. It can become we, but most of the time it doesn't become we. It becomes they. It becomes what they have said, what they have told me, what they believe, right? They said this, they said that, so I believed it. So the next part that comes along with this is definitely going to be self-isolation. And the reason why self-isolation is so dangerous when you're kind of at the peak of your narcissistic sense of self is destroyed, your self-esteem is destroyed. Self-isolation becomes dangerous if you're not looking to heal and fix the things that have been embedded or imbued within you. Self-isolation becomes a tool for your own destruction, pretty much. Because when you self-isolate, you're just left with the thoughts. You're just left with the thoughts. You're just left with whatever it is that you've now grown to believe because of being in this narcissistic environment. And when you're left with these thoughts, right, these thoughts, they become affirmations, right, to themselves, because you're just going to be ruminating on the same things in a loophole over and over and over again, especially if you've gotten to the point of self-deprecation because the goal of the narcissist is to have their narcissistic mind frame and the way that they are operating. They want that to operate without them. So the goal of the narcissist, that's why there is no you and I. That's why there's really not even a we. Because the goal of the narcissist is to become embedded in you so that their voice is always replaying in your head. And when you get to that point of not knowing the difference between your own thoughts and the narcissist's thoughts, right? The narcissist's voice and your voice, that is the point where you begin to lose yourself. And that is the point where you begin to become the person or the main voice that is affirming all of these things, all of these misaligned truths that people have given you. And I say misaligned truths because most of the things that they're going to say about you are going to be things that's completely true about them and not completely true about you. And we can even tie this back to Donald Trump and how he's talking about Mexicans are predators and gangsters and rapists, but he's a predator, a gangster, and a rapist, right? They're telling you all of these things to recategorize who you are. And we're going to go a little bit deeper with this as well when we talk about Trump's plan for America and how he plans to revitalize our civilization or revitalize our socialization to the 50s. And he's doing this by way of projecting things onto us that don't really exist, right? He's doing this by way of projecting things onto cities, places, and things that he's creating a contrast so stark between all of these things. And I talked about this in a video on TikTok that I'm going to post. But he's creating a contrast that is so thick, right? That is so black and white. It is so different from one another. And that contrast is created for a reason so that we are now going to be able to be socially identifiable. And this is why the narcissist does the things that they do, so that you are now identifiable. As a creative, your main goal should be to stay outside of the lines. Your main goal should be to create a lane of your own. Your main goal should be to be individual. I think that what a lot of people are forgetting is that we are all creative beings, right? We all have the ability to create. Just on the basis of procreation. But then when we go outside of that, we all have the ability to create something from our imagination, right? We all have the ability to bring our thoughts and make our thoughts a reality. So we are all creators. And we are all tricked into believing that only certain people can be creatives, which is just another way of just forced competition overall, which is what we're also going to be talking about as well, okay? So as a creative, most creatives are people pleasers. Okay, most creatives, because you are stuck in the box of what a creative should be, you then become the people pleaser, right? And if you have dealt with the narcissistic situation, I feel like most people have, though. You know, most people have had narcissistic parents or people who exhibited narcissistic traits, right, around them growing up in relationships with these people, mentored by these people, taught by these people. And I think in a lot of ways, we have become so desensitized. It's just like my favorite word to use these days. But like it's become so normalized for people to deal with narcissists or people with narcissistic traits, because we don't actually know what a narcissist looks like. Especially because a lot of narcissists are really, really good at hiding behind a mask, and people can be multifaceted, right? So people can be narcissists while also being a host of other things, and they show those other things more than they do those narcissistic traits that they exhibit. So you have all of this happening, right? And you have these people pleasing happening on top of that. So let's talk about people pleasing, manipulation. So people pleasing, most of the time, is going to come from the fact that you do not see yourself as you are. Okay? You don't see yourself as you are. You see yourself as something that you wish to become. You don't have any self-actualization, but you are highly self-aware in a way that is highly self-critical. So you're not really self-aware, because being self-aware, you are detached from the criticism that comes along with that. Most people pleasers or people who grew up in a narcissistic environment, you are not detached from the criticism of that, right? You are self-aware, but to your own detriment, because all you're doing is criticizing yourself behind that, right? Or you're looking at the things that you are aware of as something to fix rather than something that you just are. Being a people pleaser is being a manipulator. It's really the adverse version, or the topsy-turvy, I don't know, vice versa. The twin of the narcissist is the people pleaser. Because the people pleaser will do anything, they will do anything to get you on their side. Most people who are people pleasers, it's either they want to be liked very badly, they want to be accepted, right? Or they want to be agreed with. So there's a point of, I've been misunderstood my whole life, so now I'll say anything to get people to agree with me. And so yeah, there's that whole point. And then you have that point of sorry y'all, some party balloons just dropped up on my MacBook and just completely sent my train of thought out the window. But you have that point of, I've been misunderstood my whole life, so now I'm going to say anything to get you to agree with me, right? Then you have that point of, I just want to be liked very badly, so I'm going to become whoever you need me to become in order for you to like me. And if you want to be accepted, you want to become whoever people want you to become in order to be accepted. But a big part of that is shrinking yourself as well. So people pleasers often are mirrors to other people, in that they will become just like you, or they will try to exhibit certain traits that you exhibit. And a lot of people pleasers are people who take other people's tactics. They take other people's manipulation tactics, and they also, it's crazy good, but these people don't have any identity. A lot of people pleasers don't have any identity, or else they wouldn't be trying to please other people. So their lack of identity is what keeps them in this cycle of, I'm going to take your tactics, I'm going to take your clothes, I'm going to take your style, I'm going to take your ideas, right? I'm going to take the way that you walk and the way that you talk, and I'm going to integrate that into me. But I don't even know who I am. Because the point is, they're basically like, it's like they already have on an outfit, but they're putting on someone else's outfit right on top of that outfit. But they're never taking off their outfit, though. But they're still like, they're wearing other people's outfits, and they're like, I like this outfit better, but the outfit that I have underneath is so ugly, and I really hate that fucking outfit, and I wish I could take that outfit off. I hate that outfit. But like, they never take it off. And they look in the mirror, and they can't see the outfit that they just put on. They can only see the outfit that they've been had on, that ugly ass outfit that they hate, that they couldn't take off, right? And so all of this is a perception issue, right? You don't know who you are on a baseline. So when you are going out trying to search for who to be, you are always going to find yourself in competition, in a one-sided competition with people and individuals as well, as a people pleaser. You're taking all these people's things, right? But it's not looking the same way, and you're not feeling the same way. You're not feeling like confident in anything because, well, that's not your outfit, and it probably don't fit you right. And the outfit that you got underneath, you still only see that outfit, right? So you're like, why my outfit not hitting the same? Why I'm not hitting the same as this other person, right? It's because you don't love yourself. It's really just quite that simple. And if you're creative, you can attest to this, right? Where you don't do things the way that, because I remember, I used to have my own little style of drawing growing up, right? But then I looked at other people's style of drawing. I'm like, I don't like my style of drawing anymore. So I try to draw like them, right? And I'm drawing like them, but it's not hitting the same. Like, my drawing is not hitting the same as their drawings is hitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't give the same. Then on top of that, it still had my style on it. The problem wasn't that I didn't like my style, right? I loved my style of drawing. It's that I didn't think I was enough. Like, let's get to the root of the issue. If the problem was I didn't think that I was enough, I didn't think that my style of drawing was enough. Point blank and period. So I decided to switch up and do what somebody else was doing so that I could be seen as enough. But I never, at the end of the day, I'm still like, this is ugly. Like, I don't like this because it's me. It's coming from me. It's something that I made. And I had to change my perception of myself. So if you're not doing that, then it's no way you're escaping being a people pleaser. It's no way you're growing, right? Mentally, physically, spiritually, nothing. You're not. Because if you're just like hopping onto, I'm just going to do this new thing instead of just like working through the old thing, you're just taking the old thing and a new thing and making an ugly thing that you're still not going to like, right? And this goes along with a lot of people who kind of, again, with the people pleasing thing, people who have like traumatic events in life and then after that they become people pleasers, or people who were like bullies and then they become people pleasers. Those are the worst types of people internally, because their whole identity is going to be centered around being seen a very specific way and being liked a very specific way, right? And being seen as like, because I was one of those people, right? Being seen as like super nice, or being seen as super charitable, right? Being seen as anything other than the bully or the bad person that they framed themselves to be. And so in their goal to become so far away from who they used to be, you're going to lose all the things that you are. And those are going to come and smack you right in your fucking face eventually, because it's still you. And I think we have to understand, as people who are creatives and creative people, right, that we can't box ourselves in. We have to accept all parts of us in order to really create, y'all. In order to really give our most to life and to the things that are around us, we have to really know ourselves, and you have to really become comfortable with that. Because I think a lot of people pleasers, you really know yourself. You're not in tune with yourself because you don't want to know that self, right? You know it, but you don't want to accept it. But when you really know yourself and you really accept all parts of yourself, that's the point at which, first of all, no narcissistic tendencies or no narcissistic individual can control you, because you know yourself. Nobody can tell you who you are or try to manipulate you because you know yourself, right? Then on top of that, when you know yourself and you're accepting of who you are, then you don't have that problem of being so self-critical. You don't have that problem of constantly putting yourself down, because you're in a way detached from it. You know who you are and you're accepting of who you are, but you're not like beating yourself up about who you are. You're not angry about who you are. And the whole reason that you are angry about who you are is because that's the double-sided sword with a narcissist, okay? They're going to tell you who you should be, and then they're going to tell you who you are, right? They already told you who you was, and now they're saying who you should be, right? After they done made you into who you are. Speaking from my own experience, I was very angry growing up at a lot of things because I kept being told who I was, right? Who I was, what I was. And then you had these expectations and aspirations of who I should be. But you just told me that's not who I was, so why am I trying so hard to become who you want me to be? My folks, he really not my folks, but I'll just say the parents or the parent that I grew up with called me stupid, sorry, slow. I'll just say the parents or the parent that I grew up with called me stupid, sorry, slow, dumb, like all types of antonyms for intelligent. But when I got to school, I was expected to be making all A's all the time. I was expected to never get below a B plus, like things of that nature, right? And I'm like, why? I'm not smart. You telling me I'm not smart? Am I not smart? Am I smart? And it really created this confusion of, oh, I'm smart to me, but to other people, I'm not smart. That was the conclusion that I came to after a while was, I'm smart internally, but it don't translate externally, because that's what people was telling me. Like, I was just so dumb and all this other stuff. I'm slow and all this other stuff. I just thought that my smartness and my intelligence wasn't translating. Whole time my smartness and my intelligence was translating. These individuals just wanted me to believe otherwise. That is how a narcissist works. Okay? This is how people who want to shift your identity, that's how that works. And shift your identity, they will, especially when you start at such a young age, okay? So, people pleasers, and you're constantly seeking validation, first of all. And I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about this validation that you're seeking, because it don't have to be outright. A lot of people pleasers exist in the dark. You will never know that somebody is a people pleaser until it gets to the point of being extremely detrimental to them and their health. But you'll never know that somebody is a people pleaser. Most people, you just think, oh, this person's friendly, or, this person's really likable, or, oh, this person's just like me. This is my twin. It's not your twin. It's a people pleaser. It's a fucking person who's mirroring you. You know what I'm saying? And I have my own thoughts about that. People like that, I don't, imitation. Some people say imitation is flattery, but this is a real reason I don't believe in imitation being flattery, because as an ex-people pleaser, I have built my fucking personality, my style, my confidence. I built this brick by brick. Okay, and I don't appreciate when somebody try to rub off on me, like you trying to take what I got. Don't do that, y'all. Being in one-sided competition with someone is so difficult, because a lot of the times when you are a people pleaser, you don't even notice it, because it's just natural and normal to you. Like I said, you're putting on this person's clothes and it don't look the same. Now you're mad at yourself, but you're not really mad at yourself. You're mad at that person. And if you keep going around that person, you keep hanging around that person, that resentment will begin to show. And you're trying to be like them, or you're trying to be more of whatever they have, like in their essence that you want. And that's just going to create a dangerous mix for you, because you're going to realize, I cannot be like this person. I cannot beat them. I cannot join them. Because you can't, because that's them. You're trying to do them while you should be trying to do you. And so you're gonna place them at fault for that, though. And you're going to be in this constant cycle of competing with other people, because you're constantly seeking validation. You want the same appraisal that these people get. You want the same likeness that these people get, right? You want this person to like you, even. But I tell you the truth. The way to get people to like you is not by being like people, because most people don't even like themselves that much. So it's like, you're kind of like, you're coming into the battle, no gun, no sword. You're kind of just standing there, no shield either. Like, you're just here on the battlefield finna die. Like, I really don't know how else to put that, But being a people pleaser and wanting to please others to keep them or to validate yourself means constantly manipulating people. Let's talk about the accountability gap because of victimization in childhood. So a lot of people pleasers are often like placed as these victims, but they're not victims, because people pleasers have the real capacity to hurt others. And most of the time when they're framed as victims, it's by other people pleasers, but you're not a victim. Because at a certain point, you are the only one perpetuating this cycle of hurt and pain within yourself. That's the very first thing that you have to remember. And it's the same thing as a creative, right? You're not a victim. You are not a victim. You're not a burnt out creative. You're not a starving artist. It isn't, oh, this is just the way the world is. No, these are all lies that you keep telling yourself, right? You as a creative and you as a people pleaser, okay, if you're a creative and you're a people pleaser, let's come to my office, baby. We about to have a talk, okay? Listen, being a people pleaser and being a creative, it often goes hand in hand, because for some reason y'all believe that y'all are creating for other people. Fuck other people. Other people do not matter. It does not matter. They're going to receive it the way they receive it. When you is in the booth, when you is writing, when you're drawing, when you doing anything creatively and you are creating, you should not be worried about how is somebody going to like this. That should never be your first priority, even your second, third, fourth, or fifth one. The first question you need to be asking yourself every day when you wake up is, do I like it? Do I like me? Do I like who I am? Do I like the way I think? Do I like the way I walk and talk and all this other shit? If your answer to those questions is no, then you need to figure out why. Why don't I like myself? And for some people, the answer is going to be really simple. And for some people, the answer is going to be really difficult. And you have to get through that. You have to get over that at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? You're not a victim. And if you're creative or you're an entrepreneur even, and you're trying to be a people pleaser, hell no, you will not succeed, because you are too busy. The MacBook has agreed. It has spoken, you guys. You will not succeed if you are constantly trying to seek validation from other people. People are trying to seek validation from you. Listen, when you're a creative, people want the things that you create because of you. They don't want the things you create because of them. It don't have anything to do with them at all. Oh, I like this. Okay. So what your like got to do with anything? And if somebody say they don't like it, so neither of those things should matter to you. Like at all. Do I like it? And above people liking it, you should skip over, are people going to like what I have to say? Are people going to like what I'm doing? And do, what is the impact of what you're doing? How does it impact you and others? What is the feeling of what you're doing? How do people feel? Focus on the feeling. Focus on the impact. Not if people are going to like it or not. Because people don't even know what they like until you give them something to like. Creatives, artists, entrepreneurs, we are the tastemakers of society. We are the tastemakers. We create the taste. We create the trends. We perpetuate the trends, right? We are the trends. Trendsetters, trend starters, because you are the one person in whatever field you're in that is doing something completely different than the person that's sitting next to you. So who gives a fuck about being likable? To say that you are likable is to say that you are brandable, is to say that you are marketable, to say that you are like every other bitch out here. There is nothing marketable about me. There is nothing brandable about me. I don't have a brand. My brand is I'm Kaylin the Creative. I don't have a niche. There's nothing niche down about me because there's nothing simple about me. I'm not here for your gestation, and you are not here for nobody else's gestation either. You are here to make an impact. You're not here to be swallowed easily. You're not here to go down easily. You're supposed to be that lump in their throat, and you should be proud to be it. You're supposed to shake the room up when you walk into it, and you should be proud. You are supposed to be the biggest thing in the room, whether that is on every creative, every entrepreneur, every trendsetter, okay, every innovative person is polar as fuck. You're either gonna have people that hate you and people that love you, and they're all gonna hate and love you for the exact same reason. So it does not matter if they like you or they don't like you. Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to the same shit. That's why you got to focus on you and stop seeking validation from other people. Because the more that you do that, the more you are killing your own soul, right? Artists, entrepreneurs, right? We have soul. We have soul. We have so much soul and passion, right, that we decide to embark on a journey that nobody else is ever thinking to go on. And we embark on these journeys, and it's our journey, you know? Why are we looking around and trying to find the big bad wolf and ask the big bad wolf what the fuck we should do on our journey? He's gonna eat your ass. Nobody cares about the big bad wolf. Just keep going straight to grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your journey. These are your steps. This is your life. And I think that that's really what a lot of people don't even understand, is that this is your life and this is your journey. And as a creative, bro, as an entrepreneur, you are literally making things up as you go. You are building the journey. You're creating your own yellow brick road. And this is something I've had to realize, you know, I'm making my own journey. I'm making shit up as I go. This is life. You know what I'm saying? This is my life. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. Why are you listening to people telling you shit and these people ain't even got shit? These narcissistic ass people in your life, right? People who project shit onto you, people who you listen to, but they always giving you bad advice. But you have to remember that all advice is bad advice. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like, all advice is bad advice if it is not from someone who is walking on your path. And ain't nobody walking on your path. But if it's not somebody that's doing something similar to you, if it's not somebody with a similar mindset to you, and if it ain't somebody who has proven results like you do, why are you taking advice from them? Why are you listening to them? Who cares what they have to say? This is your life, you know? And you only get one. And so I think that the main key, okay, to outlearning and outliving these narcissistic people, because that's what you're going to do anyways. You're going to win at the end of the day. It's something I need y'all all to remember. You're going to win at the end of the day. You are absolutely going to win because You get to define what winning is for you. You get to define what success is for you. You get to define what your limits are and how much you want to go, right? What do you want to go 10? Do you want to go 100? What's the maximum that you're going to amp out? You get to decide that because you're creating a world all of your own. Nobody gets to tell you nothing at all. And so the key to outliving the narcissist, outlearning the narcissist, is to learn yourself more than they have claimed to know you. Oh, shit. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry about that. This helps to combat the image painted and projected onto you that you have internalized and personified. Get to know yourself, right? Know yourself so well that you know exactly who you are and who you want to be. Know yourself so well that you are grateful for being you. Because you have to get to that point. And when I got to that point of being grateful for being Kaylin, nobody's stopping me. Nobody was stopping me. Like, you know what I'm saying? People will call it conceited, whatever. Who cares? I call it having a good self-concept. You have to have a good idea of yourself. You got to wake up every morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and recite to yourself, I'm that bitch, and genuinely believe it. If you don't genuinely believe, you're just lying to yourself. You're feeding yourself a lie. But you don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Get so comfortable with being you and get so comfortable with living and existing as you that nobody, absolutely nobody, could tell you anything, and nobody's judgments can pierce that armor that you have built up of self-assurance. Because that's the number one thing that you need. You don't need validation. You need self-assurance. You need self-validation. Validate yourself, and you don't even have to validate yourself vocally, verbally. Validate yourself emotionally. Validate yourself financially. Validate yourself physically, okay? Taking care of yourself, okay? Validate yourself with the goals that you set and the goals that you meet. Validate yourself in the things in how, look behind you at your entire fucking life and look at all of the shit you have accomplished and use that to validate yourself. Use your own accomplishments and your own merits and how far you have gone and how far you want to go. It's some people, man, they not moving an inch off the couch since last week. You know what I'm saying? It's people not doing nothing with their life right now. But you are deciding to do something with your life. So that's step one. You could have 0 followers, 0 sales, right? You could have 0 supporters, 0 sponsors, 0 anything, 0 everything. But none of that matters. Because you are who you say you are because you decided to do. And it's just that simple. You decided to put one foot in front of the other, so you are who you say you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is just that simple, y'all. It's just that simple. Because you need to know who you are. And I'm about to tell you exactly why I'm talking about all of this right now. Because if you don't know who you are, baby, in these next 3 to 6 months, this Trump administration is about to tell you who the fuck you are. What Trump is about to do. I'm so tired of talking about this man, y'all. Can y'all tell? Donald Trump wants, again, like, this is already happening, of course, because nobody knows who they are these days. And even it connects all the way back to ancestrally. A lot of people don't know who they are ancestrally anymore, right? So they want to strip you of this knowing of yourself, this individuality, of your creativity. And they're going to strip you of all of these things, right, as they already have. And they're going to play something new on you. So this looks like brand new characteristics to describe old sectors of people, right? They're going to start relabeling people, relabeling things. I don't know, how sensitive this topic is, but we all know what happened when they started putting stars on individuals. This is what is about to happen. You are about to be recategorized and reprofiled into something that fits into Trump's America. And I mentioned in my video how Trump wants to go back to the 50s, and we all know why he wants to go back to the 50s. The 50s was extremely polarized. He's going to create such stark polarization between each sector, each class of each individual. And I think this is going to result in us having such a large gap in our systems, in our hierarchy, that nobody is equal. There's going to be a very clear distinction of who is at the top versus who is at the bottom. That's why we see these trad wives ushering in. That's why we see celebrities getting smaller, okay? It's why we see black celebrities bending the knee at Donald Trump. Everything is connected. And don't think for a second that it is, especially not with this administration. So I'll be seeing the files came out. I'm not going to say his name because I got fucking, I got a community guidelines violation for just writing it on my video. But the files coming out, they want to create such a distinction. And this distinction, it is going to be a full out, I don't even want to say, it's going to be a categorical war. Where, because we already have that physical violence that just happened, now everything that's about to be happening from here on out, I feel like from probably December, January on out, is going to be purely social. Because we are already in a war of a psychological war, right? With all this propaganda and fake news that's spurring around. Now we are not just about to be in a war of propaganda. We're not just about to be psychologically attacked. We're about to be socially attacked, which is another step up of psychological warfare. But you're attacked socially, your whole social standing changes. I mean, people are going to be denoted to things that they have been denoted to since the fucking 50s and 60s. You know what I'm saying? People are probably going to become more racist. People are going to become more uniform. They're going to become more perfection, more perfect. And I talked about this in my video as well. There's going to be a new version of perfection. Because this is what the celebrities are trying to achieve right now. That's why they're all getting whiter, blonder, skinnier, paler, richer, okay? Pinker. Ariana Grande. They all want to achieve some pinnacle of perfection that does not exist right now. So it's kind of a fight at this point of who's going to be the new pinnacle of perfection. And to me, it's probably going to be Lana Del Rey, right? Because all the girls wanted to be like Kim Kardashian when Barack Obama was president. Now all the girls are going to want to be like Lana Del Rey when Donald Trump is president. When he's dictator, daddy, dictator, Donnie Trump. The Bubba blower. Okay? This is what's going to be happening. Socially, I just feel like it's going to be a lot of gray. I just see a lot of gray. You know what I'm saying? A lot of gray. A lot of brutalism, right? A lot of uniform structures going back into that. And there has to be a new slogan, right? If it's not the American dream, there has to be something else that is promised here. If not the American dream, it's something, right? Something's going to be promised in the next 3 to 6 months, right? Something's going to be promised. The nation is going to change. The nation's promise is going to change. People's marketability is going to change as well. Because these characteristics socially are about to change. Everything that we know on the side of that is also about to change. So the things that are okay, are no longer going to be okay. The things that you could come out and say are no longer, you can't say that shit no more. The things that were just like so simple and we all just like la-di-da, do, that's going to be considered going against the grain. Any individualism, any creativity, any doing anything different than anybody else, that's going to be considered going against the grain. And you will be perceived as a threat to the system because you go against the grain. Which is why it's so important right now that you know who the fuck you are and you remember who the fuck you are. Because if you don't know who you are, they're going to tell you who you are and you're going to believe it. They're about to start telling children different things in schools, which they already have, but they're about to start telling children different things in schools. The first recategorization that happened was slavery. Why do you think they went after slavery first? They're about to go after black people too, but not in the way that y'all think. It's going to be recategorization. Everything that they're about to do to black people is about to be purely social because they don't even think we have the capacity to understand social war or social crimes committed against us like segregation and Jim Crow. That is the biggest way to harm black people because they're not gonna lock us up. Why would they lock black people up? Why would they do that? They're not gonna lock us up. They're not gonna ship us off. They're not gonna kill us. No, we are their slaves. We are their original mind drones. We started the capitalism here in America. We are the foundation for it all. They're gonna go after us harder than before socially. They're going to go after our livelihoods. That's why they went after SNAP. They're going to go after our livelihoods. They're going to go after especially impoverished people. They're going to go after what we know, what we think. They're going to go after our community and our ability to create community. They're going to go after it all. And when we come out, I don't even feel like there's an aspect of black people that's going to come out of this because socially they're going to finish our ass. Because Donald Trump does want to make us slaves, y'all. We have to wake up to this, and not in a traditional sense. He wants you to become a slave in the mind. People are going to start killing themselves, committing suicide, because there's going to be so much social violence happening. And when the society shifts, right, the things that is okay for the extreme right to do becomes a lot, there's a lot more leeway for them. So the extreme right is definitely going to be coming out. They're definitely going to be showing themselves, like the Proud Boys. You know what I'm saying? All of these people, the quinoa group, whatever they call, you know what I'm saying? All these people finna be coming out with their violence. And the violence against black people is not going to stop. We will be attacked in the media. We will be attacked in our homes. We will be attacked in our community. We will be attacked in legislation. We will just be attacked. Now is the time for us to pay attention. Because right now, the precursor, what he's already done, we need to be looking at what he's already done, because that's going to tell us what the fuck he's about to do. Project 2025 was out there for everybody to read. Everybody saw the fucking manuscript. You need to get you one. You need to get you a copy of the Constitution. You need to understand what can be taken away from you and what rights are literally not afforded to you. Not constitutionally, but on a base level. What are the rights that are afforded to everybody versus what are the rights that are just afforded to you? Because those are the conditionally given rights. Those aren't your rights. They're conditional. So, creatives, entrepreneurs, people who are creating their own lanes, you might not exist anymore if you do not know who the fuck you are. It's going to be very, very difficult, because it's going to be almost like a war on witches, right? It's going to be a war on creative people. It's going to be a war on people who wield their own power, who have their own power, but do not, align with this regime. People who don't bow down to this regime. That's why you see all of these like uber powerful people right now bowing down to the Trump administration, because anybody who has power right now, they are going where the biggest power is right now. They're flocking to it like birds, because they know that if they do not, they will fall. Okay? Trump is at this point where he will be soliciting, I feel like, the full force of MAGA to enforce this new social hierarchy. This social hierarchy that he is creating is going to be one of mass destruction. And the minute that he lets that loose socially, we're going to see on a state and city level, people just ripping shit out of textbooks. He wants to have a Christian nationalist country. They're about to make that shit happen. And like I said, that starts with creating a new version of perfection. A new version of the perfect person, but more specifically, the perfect woman. Who is the perfect woman? That's something you all need to think about right now, is who the fuck is the perfect woman? Who is the most beautiful woman in America right now at this moment? Don't ask me, because I don't know. That is what the next generation of our society is about to look like. Going into 2026, this is what you're going to be expected to be like, to walk like, to act like. Socially, you're about to have to compete with factors you have never had to compete with before. Like, completely brand new. You've never had to compete with any of these people before, but you are about to now. You are not ready. Y'all are not ready. Y'all are not prepared. Nobody is for how we are about to tank and fall socially. People are about to become so desensitized to the government's violence, okay, that people aren't even going to know what to do. People are going to have no choice socially but to keep coming, living their lives like automated robots. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, because they don't have nothing else to do. They don't know what to do. You work to live. You live to work. That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be going to jobs. You're going to be going to schools. Y'all are going to be living y'all day-by-day lives, while in the forefront and back of your mind is everything that's going on around you. You're going to start seeing real signs of shit going haywire in your community. It's going to get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. They're inching it forward. Because don't think that the cities that he targeted, D.C., Oregon, etc., except LA. Don't think that these were just, no, baby, these were the tests. This was a test run, a test drive. He's bringing that shit everywhere, nationwide. Why wouldn't he? Because even the governors and stuff, because at this point, everybody has basically turned blue. So what do y'all think he's about to do? Just lay down like a dog and suck that shit up? No. He's about to take his fucking country back. And he's definitely about to make an enemy. He's about to make something an enemy. I don't know what this is going to look like. This could be socialist. I think he's definitely going to make socialism an enemy because of the new mayor of New York. He's definitely going to make socialism an enemy. Communism, anything that's like community and helping other people, we hate that. No. Don't bring that Russian Chinese shit over here in America. That's how they're going to be. They're going to go crazy. And socially, it's up to you to stay afloat by remembering who you are and what you are here to do. Remembering what your power is and remembering your creativity. Know your worth, okay? Know your beliefs. Know who you are. I'm telling y'all, know who you are, because I feel like they're about to do something that's going to completely uproot people's sense of self, of telling people who they are. And it's the government, so I really don't know what it's going to be, y'all. But it's bound to be something crazy. They could have already put this in Project 2025. I feel like it has something to do with those damn aliens, or like whatever they, Project Blue Light, Green Light, whatever the fuck they call it, y'all. They're going to completely uproot our sense of self. And when this happens, you have to be ready to fight back mentally, spiritually. Because if you're not, you are going to die mentally, spiritually, and sometimes physically. Because I do feel like a lot more people are going to be jumping off of buildings and killing themselves in the next 6 months, next 3 to 6 months. I don't see this going well at all. The government shutdown is supposed to do whatever January. I don't believe that it's going to reopen. I don't think so. I'm sorry, guys. I really don't think so. It's just not something that I think at this time, you know? I think everybody needs to brace themselves for what is coming, because this shutdown is on purpose. Everything that Trump has been doing is on purpose to isolate the United States of America so that we can really become a Christian nationalist country. These governors, these representatives aren't just saying this out of nowhere. No, they're saying this because this is what Daddy Trump has told them that they're going to do. So let's not confuse ourselves, right? Let's not get it confused with everything that's going on right now. The end goal was always to create nationalism, to reupholster the sense of self of these red pill toting little Negroes around here. Killing Charlie Kirk was step 1. Step 2, we're about to find out. Look at this celebration. It's celebration. Like, they celebrated this man's death. It was the happiest time ever for them. And now we're about to see more and more things play out. So I want to just make sure everybody's being safe at this time, and make sure that y'all are becoming very grounded in who you are and who you are around. You know what I'm saying? Stay abreast. In your free time, research, communicate, find a community. This is the most important thing. You need to find a community of people, even if it ain't my community. You know what I'm saying? Find a community. You need to find a fucking community, because y'all be at work all day and shit. Y'all at school all day. Y'all ain't got time for this, for be looking at shit. You need to find a community so that you can stay abreast, especially if you don't have the time to sit here and research and look through all these documents and papers. You need to get a community. You need to find a community. You need to find people who are going to be abreast for you, who are going to be that resource for you, okay? That's all I got to say today, y'all. This is a very heavy message, honestly. I love y'all. I love everybody. And I hope that we come out of this alive and beautiful and holding hands at the end of the day. But for a reason, I do feel like we won't. So, yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe, like, follow. Keep up with me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And take what I'm saying truly to heart, because I only say this to help you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'll be coming out with some more news, more videos very, very soon. And like I said, just make sure you're keeping up with the Creative Collective. We got a podcast every other week. I'm posting every day on my TikTok and Instagram, so make sure y'all go check me out on both of those places. We got Songs from the Revolution TikTok and at This Is the Creative Collective on Instagram. So I love y'all. And genuinely, I hope everybody stays safe, stay beautiful, keep your head up, and don't let any of